Hello everyone and welcome to a wireframe and double header. We are going to do modules 6 and 7 together over the next 2 weeks, and that will cover us for simple wireframes as well as high fidelity wireframes and a couple of other assignments along the way. So let's get into it here and now talk about why we're doing 2 modules at once. The work is progressive. As you'll see, the first week we'll do simple wireframes as well as have some readings about the importance of wireframes in general, and then that will build us into the second week where we develop and talk about high fidelity wireframes, and I think you can probably imagine from their names how those two concepts are related. Also, I'm trying to be helpful knowing that next week is the 4th of July week, and assuming a small number of you might be going on vacation, I wanted to try to give you the work in advance so that you can know what you have to complete before you go away for a long weekend or parts during the week. And these 2 modules actually lend themselves perfectly to that. Before we get into the wireframes, we could talk about one other assignment you have in the first week is a blog posting, and I should say this is one of my favorite assignments all semester to read and assign. And the question that I ask you to think about is, can you redesign a real-world experience in the digital realm? And I give an example of Uber, the private car service that uses your mobile phone as a way of allowing you to basically do everything, schedule, pay, everything. And I want you to get creative on this. As I say here in the PowerPoint, or the presentation I should say, don't worry about being 100% realistic. You're not pitching an investor. You're just coming up with creative ideas. The one thing I will caution you is to make sure that your idea doesn't already exist. Every semester I get one student who's really enthusiastic about this concept and they spell it out, and I would say, oh yeah, you mean it's just like company X, and they had never heard of it. Just do a quick Google search before you commit pen to paper, as they used to say. Well, let's get into the wireframing examples. The first one in the first week here is a simple wireframe. As its name would suggest, it is not overly complicated. What you want to do here is think of any website that you could, should, or want to create on any topic and sketch out what that first page, that home page looks like with the elements as big blocks. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail here in the introductory presentation because I have a tutorial video down below with the assignment where I actually walk you through my creating a simple wireframe for a website that I imagined for a neighborhood or a community. Keep it simple. On the first page is where you sketch it out. The second page is where I want you to explain in 1 or 2 paragraphs what the website is, what it will do, and then identify each of the blocks and talk a little bit about them. But again, I'll show examples of that down below. Moving on then, the second week we go over to the high fidelity wireframe, an assignment that is very different from the simple wireframe, as I'm sure, again, you could guess. Here as well, I'm not going to go into too much detail because when you open up that module, you see I provide an example of what I'm expecting from a high fidelity wireframe. And for the video, the tutorial video in that module, I treat it a little differently. And then I want you to base that wireframe on an existing website. So I bounce back and forth between the work assignment and the website that the high fidelity wireframe was created on. So you could see what that website, which is chase.com, the banking website, what it looks like in reality, and then how that mapped over to an assignment that a student from a previous semester handed in and did an excellent job.